Hi and welcome to the Fiber Folk podcast. I don't know why I said that. I mean WOOLapyk, sorry. The WOOLapyk podcast. My name is Ida and this is a podcast about knitting. Fiber Folk is a knitting festival that I also organize, but this is not a podcast about Fiber Folk. So this is a podcast called WOOLapyk and welcome. Today right now I have two things to talk about. I'm probably going to have more, but this is going to be a podcast that's going to be filmed in segments, I think. I'm hoping to have 10-15 minutes now of quiet. I just put on some TV for the kids, left plenty of snacks there and drinks. So hopefully they're going to be preoccupied with that while I do a bit of podcasting, but there may be some interruptions. So I have 2 works in progress. And I think I talked about both of these in the last podcast, actually. I thought somebody was calling my name, but I guess not. So I'm gonna start with the one for me, I think, which is the Tide Loop Tee by Other Loops, which is a Danish designer. And this is a tee, like the name suggests. It's a tee, and it's part of a collection called the Breeze collection by Isa, which is a yarn brand. And they had different designers. Isa is a Danish yarn brand, and they both have yarn, but they also have designs. And for this collection, they had Danish designers. I think they're all Danish. I think so. Making a design inspired by, I think it's the ocean. I don't even know. Breeze, maybe Breeze. I don't know. Summer, like it's a summer collection. And this tee is, I'm gonna put in a picture so you can see it, because what you're gonna see in a minute, it's that mine is different. So the original pattern has like a texture of knits and purl, or well, garter stitch. What is that called? Stockinette stitch. And what is the opposite of stockinette stitch? I know that. Why is that completely out of my head? Stockinette stitch and I don't know. I'm gonna put it in the back side of stockinette stitch. Reverse stockinette stitch. I can't remember. But that has a pattern, and you can see it on the picture, so I'm not gonna get more into it. But it's inspired by the ripples in the sand that you see on the beach. It's a beautiful pattern, and I really love like that texture. But as I got the pattern and I looked through it, basically it's all charts, which I'm totally fine with knitting charts, but there is quite a lot of counting and I just wanted a simple thing to knit on, basically. So I decided to just make my tee a stockinette stitch version, so it's just completely stockinette stitch, but I'm following the pattern. Otherwise, I really like the shape of the pattern. I like somebody's not happy. I like the longer sleeves. I think they're around elbow length. I really like that, and they're sort of big and just has a nice volume to it. And I like the drop shoulder, which, as you know, I love drop shoulders. And yeah, so here it is. So I thought that I would just go with that pattern because I got the pattern and I thought, okay, this is not going to be something that I want to knit right now. Should I go for a different pattern? I found a pattern by My Favorite Things Knitwear, which basically is the same. They look very similar, like the shape and the fit of the tees are very similar, except that the My Favorite Things Knitwear, I just hear them coming now. Hello. Lisa?
Pamperbær.
Er du bange for det?
Pamperbær. Bammet.
Leger hun lidt. I skal ikke pille. I må ikke pille. Ja, gerne kigge. Ikke pille. Ikke pille med den.
Nej.
The tees are same shape and I think probably around same construction. Drop shoulders, wide sleeves that hit around elbow length. But one is just stockinette stitch, the other one has that pattern. And I figured since I already got that pattern, I might as well use it and just do a stockinette stitch version. So that's what I'm doing. And I am not too far from joining the body. So here it is. So it's knit, I can't even remember. You knit the back and then you knit one shoulder, the other shoulder. No, that's not right. You cast on with a provisional cast off on, and then you knit the back, and then you pick up and knit the shoulders on the front. And I have used my own hand-dyed yarn in the non-superwash merino, held together with a Især, what's that called? Trio? I think it's Trio 1, the thin version. They have two like plant-based fibers, or maybe they have more, but they're basically the same blend of fibers but in different thicknesses. So I'm using the thinner one, and I don't have a label with me, but it's this one. It's just the white one. There's some linen, bamboo, and I can't remember the third thing. There are like 3 different plant-based fibers in this one. It's okay to knit with, but it is absolutely, it's a mess in this ball. It just, you know, falls apart, and it's just very fiddly and slippery. I don't mind knitting with it, but like the ball just drives me nuts because it keeps just getting tangled in itself. But you know, it's a plant-based fiber, so that's just how it is. It doesn't really have that stickiness that wool does. Yeah, so I'm using that, and then this is the colorway I'm using, Fairy Dust. And I've chosen 2 very different skeins. I mean, it's the same colorway. This one is just very lightly dyed, and this one is a little heavier dyed. You can almost see that here. So for the back, I just used this one. I did not alternate skeins, which you always have to alternate. You don't have to, but if you want a uniform look, it is a very smart thing to alternate skeins while you knit. So using like two rows of one, like 2 rows of this, and then changing to 2 rows of this is a good thing to do. I didn't do that, and you can definitely tell. So this is the back, and that is with that lighter colored skein. I really love that, how that came out. It's just very subtly, is that a word? The colors are subtle. I guess that's what I want to say. And then for the front, as I was caking this up, I noticed that there was a lot more color in this one. So I thought I might as well start doing a bit of alternating skeins, and you can definitely see where I started that. I will say, generally, like, color differences are a lot more visible on camera than when you see it just in real life. Hi, Anton. Jamen, optager. So Anton is in here now. I'm gonna see if I can continue. So it may not be as visible in real life. I don't know, because I'm filming on my phone and I can't see what I'm filming. But I'm guessing you can see the difference. Men det duer ikke, du. Det duer ikke med dig der. I just gave them a eyes lolly, so hopefully there's gonna be enough quiet now so I can finish this off. So you see the color differences. I am thinking though, if if I'm getting annoyed by this, if I find that the difference is too big for me, or too, basically if it annoys me, then I am just going to do a bit of like duplicate stitching up here on the shoulders. I don't really care for the back. I'm not going to see the back. It's not going to be as visible, but just a bit of duplicate stitch up here with some of these colors. I think that would be nice. I don't think I would have to do a lot for it to be more uniform, but put this on for you. As you can see, it is this part here, so it's not that visible. I think it's gonna be okay. Honestly, I think I'm gonna be fine with this. So I have this much left of that lightly colored one, and then I have this one. And I have a few more skeins of these, so I think I'm gonna see if I can find one that is more similar to this. So I'm getting a, again, uniform fabric all the way through the garment. And I will definitely continue doing alternating of these two. So what I do is just I knit 2 rows of this, and then I switch to 2 rows of this, and that's how I just continue. And then I have that white strand of the Isa trio along as well. See, you can see it's just very slippery. I guess you would call this a slippery yarn. Yeah, so I'm actually really enjoying this knit. It's just quite simple. Of course, it's just stockinette stitch. I need to do a bit of increasing very soon, and then, like I said, join for the body, knit the sleeves, and then I'm done. I'm not really in a hurry as such to get this done. It's not like something that I think I'm gonna wear for summer. I think it's gonna be too warm for that, but I think it would be nice to have for fall and also spring. That it would be a nice layering piece, not layering piece, but garment for that. So I actually do have a few knitted t-shirts, and I don't really wear them in the summer. I find that they are just too warm for me. At least not if we have warm weather. We've had very warm weather in Denmark for the last 3 or 4 weeks now, and I just don't really feel like wearing anything knitted when it's this warm, at least not if there's any wool in there. Yeah, so that was the tide loop tee. Then I have the Lille Aran, which is a Danish pattern by Lina Holme Samsø from this book. And I talked about this last time. I say last time, I don't think I talked about this in the podcast. I think I talked about this in a Patreon video last month. I was talking about things that I was thinking about knitting. I'm pretty sure it was a Patreon video. And this was one of the patterns that I've been thinking about, and I ended up going with this pattern. I think I decided that actually when I was recording the video. So let me show you a picture of it. It's a all over cable sweater for Anton, and here it is. Just a very beautiful classic sweater. I just think it's just gorgeous, and I actually really enjoy doing cables. They look a lot harder. If you have never done cables, they're so simple. They are just, you just switch the stitches around on your needle, and you have a cable needle to help you do that. It's very, very simple. It's knits and purls basically, and then you switch the stitches around. So go for it. It's not hard at all. But anyway, all you need to do is pay attention, and that's also why I decided to just go with stockinette stitch for this, because I did not want two projects on my needle where I would have to pay attention. I really always want a project that I can bring along with Anton. So Anton is home with me, and so when we are out during the day, I always bring my knitting. I rarely get to knit, but it's just nice to have something to pull out that I can just knit a few rows on here and there without having to think too much. So, and obviously you can't really do that with this. Here it is as well. This book is just such a gem. Yeah, I really love her patterns, especially for kids. Lena Holme. She is actually at Fiberfolk doing a lecture, foredrag in Danish, about knitting and about her life as a knitwear designer. She's been a knitwear designer for a long time in Denmark, even before it was hot and and popular. So I'm really looking forward to seeing that or listening to her at Fiberfolk. Yeah, so this from this book. And what was I can't remember what my original thought was, but I have now knitted the ribbing 3 times. No, that's not true. I've knitted the ribbing twice, because the first time I twisted when I joined to knitting around, and I didn't know that until I knit this, and then I had to pull it all back. And then I have started the pattern row twice and had to whip back both times because it just not add up with the chart. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I just don't know. It's really frustrating me. So it's actually been laying in the, what's that called? In the project bag for 2 weeks now, because I'm just annoyed that that it just doesn't match up. So yeah, I think maybe I should try out tonight again, see if I can get it to work. But I have the ribbing done. I am knitting with a yarn from De Réum Natura, a French yarn. It's a merino, and I can't remember which the name of the yarn. I think it's Juliet, maybe. I don't know. I knit a little swatch here, and yeah, it's ready to go. I just need to get the stitches to match with the chart, and so far I'm not really doing that good of a job. So yeah, it's just laying there until I am more patient again. I am sitting here in my mom's craft room. She has this whole big room full of all her crafty stuff. So there are fabrics and thread, as you can see, yarn, craft books, just a lot of lovely stuff. So we are at my parents', obviously, at this moment, and I thought I would just do a quick show off the last things that I'm working on. I was just finishing off a row here, so I decided to pick up the disaster knit that I was talking about in the last, I think it was the last podcast or the podcast before, which is basically my camisole number 5 that had that whole thing of me cutting into the strap here and yeah, saving it as good as best as I could, and it is what it is. It's on the back of the neck, so hopefully I won't see it when I wear it. Hopefully other people are probably not going to notice, to be honest. And it is what it is. I decided to just go ahead and finish the armholes, which are done with double knitting. This is the first time I'm doing double knitting, which is very easy. It just takes a long time. I've been working on this for 2 days, and I am still on armhole number 1. And I'm just past the halfway point on that one, as you can see here. So this is the back. And it is just, I mean, I've seen it before and different patterns, but it is just very lovely. It just adds such a nice finish to the garment, which is also why I was drawn to this garment in the first place, or this pattern. I find that it is has such a nice finish with the neckband, the armholes. Everything is just very neat and lovely to look at. So but it does take a long time, and as I was just knitting the first bit here, I was like, do I want to spend all this time on knitting this when I'm not really sure that I'm going to wear it? But I've used so much time on the pattern or on the garment, and I mean, if I'm not gonna do this, it's not gonna be used at all, or it's just gonna be laying somewhere in a corner, and that would be a shame. So I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna do it, and hopefully I'll wear it. This is knit in a 100% linen yarn. Why can't I remember that right now? I'm pretty sure it's a linen yarn. It's my own yarn that I haven't dyed on this. Can't remember. It's a plant-based fiber. So it's gonna be perfect now for summer. Yeah. So I'm really just set on getting this finished now. I want to get this out of my work in progress basket and into my closet, and then we'll see if I wear it or not, I guess. I think I'll wear it, like tucked into a pair of jeans or something. That would be really nice, I think. So next time, hopefully, this will be done, and maybe I'll even wear it in the podcast next time. Let's see, depending on the weather. It's getting colder now here in Denmark. It's been very warm the last month. So, yeah, it's in this little crochet project bag that my mom made a long time ago for me, and I just love it. I have one in blue as well. It's beautiful. You can see it here. And it actually has I made a pin for last year's advent calendar in there. Don't know if you can see it. That I designed myself, that I actually really like. Yeah, I think I've decided to do an advent calendar this year as well. I've been a little on the fence about it, but I was asking on Instagram and people seemed like they were interested, and then I started thinking about it, and then I started getting excited about it, and then I started forgetting the fact that it's a very work heavy thing to do. There's just so much work involved, but it's also very, very fun. So I think I'm gonna do it. I'm noticing now that the camera or the phone is quite uneven. I don't know if this is better. Let's see. So the last thing that I have is also in a lovely project bag, which is from Calico, that were at one of our first fiber folks, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. Not the first year, but maybe the second or third year that we held it. And that has a fiber folk pin on there, which I'm also actually designing a new one at this very moment for this year's fiber folk in Roskilde. But yeah, in here I have my hat for Esther. What is going on here? Yeah, and I can't remember. I'm not sure I've been crocheting on this much since the last time I showed you. I think maybe a little bit. I think it was maybe to here last time. And you know, there's still a while to go, and I am not enjoying the project, to be honest. It is not a joyful project for me. I think probably because I'm not used to crocheting, and it is tedious, and it feels like it takes a long time, and yeah. And I'm not sure I still wear it. I'm not sure if I'm gonna have it finished in time for summer. I mean, it's summer now, so we are in July in 2 days time. So I think maybe my goal is to see if I can finish it for our vacation. We are going to Sweden in about a month or so. I think that would be nice for her to have that ready for Sweden. If she's not gonna wear it, maybe Anton will wear it, who knows. But this is the Kolonihave hat by Air Crochet. I think it is also available in English. If you are new to crochet and you want to give it a go, I definitely would recommend the pattern. It's very easy to follow. There are instructional videos. So it's nothing against the pattern. I think that Air Crochet makes beautiful crochet patterns, and they are very inspiring, but I don't know. I'm not feeling it. Not in the same way as I do with knitting, but again, I'm a newbie. I'm a beginner, so we'll see. I can't remember what yarn I'm using. It's a 100% cotton yarn, and yeah, I don't know about this thing. Maybe I'm just gonna end up not using it. Maybe I could make it into like a pot holder or something like that. I guess that would be quite nice as well, adding something on the back and then use it as a pot holder. If I end up deciding not to finish it, that's probably what I'm gonna do with this. So that is it for now. I am just going to leave you with this and say thank you for watching, and thank you to those of you who are commenting and liking. It always is very helpful for me if you like the video in terms of other people seeing it, so I would appreciate it if you would do that if you like the video. If not, then don't. And I will talk to you next month.